Amir walked through the tall iron gates of Crescent High School, holding his worn backpack close. The campus was huge, with shiny windows, polished floors, and cars in the parking lot that looked more expensive than houses. It was Amir's first day in this new school, and though he looked calm, his heart beat fast. Crescent High was famous for its rich students, children of businessmen, doctors, and politicians. Amir was different. He had transferred on a scholarship because of his excellent grades and basketball talent. His father, Kareem, had raised him alone after his mother passed away years ago. Kareem always told him, "Be proud of who you are, not what you have." Inside the main hallway, Amir noticed students dressed in branded clothes, laughing loudly in groups. He walked past them quietly. A few students glanced at him curiously, whispering behind their hands. "Who's the new guy?" Adil muttered to his friend Noman, both leaning against their lockers. Adil wore an expensive watch and never missed a chance to show it off. Noman grinned. "Probably another scholarship kid." "Look at his bag, it's so old," Noman replied. They chuckled, thinking Amir couldn't hear them. But Amir did hear. He just chose not to respond. In class, Amir took a seat at the back. The teacher introduced him, "Everyone, this is Amir Khan. He's new here, so I hope you'll make him feel welcome." Some smiled politely, but Adil and Noman exchanged looks. They loved finding new targets for their jokes. During lunch break, Amir sat alone under a tree, opening his simple lunch box. A kind voice called out, "Is the seat taken?" It was Sana, a cheerful girl with friendly eyes. Amir shook his head, and she sat down. "You're new, right?" "I'm Sana. Welcome to Crescent." "Thanks," Amir said with a small smile. "You play basketball?" "I saw you carry your shoes earlier," she asked. "Yeah. I'll try out for the team," Amir replied. Sana smiled. "Good. Our team needs someone serious, not just show-offs." While they talked, Adil and Noman watched from a distance. "Look at him, eating homemade food under a tree," Adil sneered. "Let's see how long he lasts in this school," Noman added. Over the next week, Amir kept to himself. He studied hard, answered questions in class, and stayed after school for basketball practice. The coach quickly noticed his skill. "Good job, Amir. You've got talent," the coach said. Amir simply nodded, grateful. But rumors started spreading. Some students whispered that Amir's father was probably a taxi driver or an office worker. Adil and Noman made sure the gossip grew. One afternoon, as Amir packed his books, he overheard them joking loudly. "Hey Noman, maybe Amir's dad can drive us around after school." Adil laughed. "Yeah, maybe he can park our cars," Noman added. A few other boys laughed, though some looked uncomfortable. Amir stayed quiet, pretending not to care. He had learned from his father that people's words only had power if you let them. Still, deep inside, it hurt. At home that evening, Kareem noticed Amir was quieter than usual. "Tough first week?" Kareem asked while setting dinner on the table. "Nothing I can't handle," Amir replied, forcing a smile. "You sure?" Kareem asked gently. Amir nodded. "Yeah, Baba. I just need to stay focused." Kareem smiled proudly. "That's my boy. Remember, never let others tell you who you are. You decide that." Meanwhile, Adil and Noman came up with a plan. They were hosting a party at Noman's house the next weekend. "Let's invite Amir," Adil suggested with a sly grin. "Why?" Noman asked. "Think about it. We'll get to see his ordinary dad when he drops him off. It'll be hilarious." They both laughed, imagining how they'd whisper and mock Amir in front of everyone. The next day at school, Adil walked up to Amir for the first time, pretending to be friendly. "Hey man, we're having a party this Saturday. You should come. Bring your dad too, he can meet everyone." Amir looked surprised. "Uh, sure. Thanks for the invite." Sana, standing nearby, frowned. She could see Adil's fake smile. Something about the invitation didn't feel right. As the week passed, Amir stayed focused on his studies and basketball. He didn't suspect anything. But Sana worried. She wanted to warn Amir, yet she wasn't completely sure of Adil's plan. She decided to wait and watch carefully. By Friday, the excitement for the party spread through the school. Students talked about music, food, and how amazing Noman's mansion was. Amir heard the whispers but stayed calm. He told Karim about the party, and his father agreed to take him. "Just be yourself, son," Karim said warmly. "I always am," Amir replied with a quiet smile. As the sun set that evening, Amir prepared for the weekend, unaware of the cruel game planned for him. Sana's heart felt uneasy, and even a few students began to wonder why Adil and Noman were suddenly acting nice. But the stage was set. Saturday morning came with bright sunlight over Crescent City. Amir woke up early, went for a quick jog, and then helped his father Karim prepare breakfast. Karim always believed in starting the day with discipline, no matter how busy life became. "So, big party tonight?" Karim asked as he poured tea. "Yeah," Amir replied casually. "Some classmates invited me." Karim smiled. "Sounds fun. I'll drive you." Amir hesitated. "Baba, it's fine. I can take the bus." "Nonsense," Karim said warmly. "It's no trouble. I'll drop you myself." Amir nodded. He didn't want his father to see how some students at school behaved. But Karim had always been part of every moment in Amir's life, and Amir didn't want to hide things from him. At school that afternoon, excitement filled the air. Everyone talked about Noman's party. His mansion was known as one of the biggest in the city. Students bragged about the food, music, and huge swimming pool. Adil leaned against the locker, waiting for Amir. When he appeared, Adil flashed a wide grin. "Yo, Amir. Ready for tonight?" he said, patting him on the shoulder. "Yeah, thanks for inviting me," Amir replied politely. "Make sure you bring your dad, man," Adil added quickly. "We all want to meet him." Amir gave a small smile. "Sure." Nearby, Sana overheard everything. She didn't trust Adil's sudden friendliness. He never invited scholarship students to his events before. After Amir left, she approached Adil. "Why are you so eager to meet his dad?" she asked, crossing her arms. Adil shrugged. "Just being nice." Sana frowned. "You're never nice without a reason." Adil smirked. "Maybe I've changed." But Sana wasn't convinced. The rest of the day, Amir focused on basketball practice. The coach praised him again, saying, "If you keep this up, you'll lead the team next season." Amir's face lit up. Basketball was his comfort, his escape from people's whispers. When practice ended, Amir saw Sana waiting near the gym. "Hey," she said softly. "About that party tonight, just be careful, okay?" Amir looked puzzled. "Careful? Why?" "I think Adil is planning something," Sana said seriously. "I heard him laughing about your dad." Amir sighed. "It's fine. I'm used to people talking." Sana shook her head. "You shouldn't have to be." "Thanks for looking out for me," Amir said with a small smile. "But I'll be okay." Evening arrived. Karim put on a clean shirt and combed his hair neatly. Though his clothes were simple, he carried himself with quiet dignity. "Ready, son?" he asked. "Yeah," Amir said, picking up his bag. He felt nervous not about the party, but about people's attitude. They drove in Kareem's modest car through streets lined with large houses. When they reached Noman's mansion, music and laughter spilled out onto the driveway. Expensive cars, shiny and new, were parked outside. Adil and Noman stood near the entrance, waiting with sly smiles. "Here comes our guest of honor," Adil whispered. "Can't wait to see this," Noman replied. The car stopped, and Kareem stepped out first to open Amir's door. His calm expression never changed. Some students standing nearby snickered quietly. But then something unexpected happened. Noman's father, Mr. Rashid, came out to greet guests. When he saw Kareem, his face lit up with surprise and respect. "Kareem bhai? I haven't seen you in years," Mr. Rashid said warmly, walking over to shake his hand. "You must come inside. It's an honor to have you here." Adil and Noman froze. They had never seen Mr. Rashid treat anyone this way, not even business partners. You know him, Dad?" Noman asked awkwardly. "Of course," Mr. Rashid replied proudly. "Kareem is one of the most respected men in the city." Whispers spread quickly among the students. "Who is Amir's dad? Why is Noman's father acting like that?" Amir noticed the change in the crowd's mood but stayed quiet. He was used to people pretending to be friendly when they thought someone had power or money. He followed his father inside, holding his head high, not because of wealth, but because of Kareem's steady character. Inside the mansion, the party glittered with lights, music, and food. Some students tried to chat with Amir now, curious about his father. "Hey, Amir," one boy said, "so what does your dad do exactly?" Amir shrugged. "He works hard." "He didn't offer more." Sana came over with a relieved smile. "You made it?" "Yeah," Amir said. "My dad insisted on dropping me." "Well," she whispered, glancing around, "it looks like your dad surprised everyone." Meanwhile, Adil and Noman huddled in the corner, whispering nervously. "This isn't good," Adil muttered. "Yeah," Noman agreed. "Why is my dad treating him like some VIP?" "Because maybe he is a VIP," Adil said, frowning. The boys didn't laugh anymore. Their plan to mock Amir had already started to crumble, though they didn't yet know the full truth. As the evening went on, Kareem stayed only a few minutes, politely greeting Mr. Rashid and thanking him for hosting the party. Before leaving, he looked around the room and said to Amir, "Call me when you're done, son." "Okay, Baba," Amir replied warmly. When Kareem left, the whispers grew louder. Some students began to look at Amir differently, not with kindness, but with sudden curiosity. Sana noticed and felt protective. She knew this night wasn't over yet. The music inside Noman's mansion echoed through the grand halls, and students filled every corner, laughing and showing off. Amir walked quietly into the living room, looking for a place to sit. He didn't belong to any group here. He didn't wear expensive clothes, and he didn't care about showing off. Sana quickly found him near the snack table. "You okay?" she asked. "Yeah, I'm fine," Amir replied with a calm smile. "It's just a bit noisy." Sana nodded. "These parties are always noisy. Everyone's trying to prove something." Across the room, Adil and Noman watched them. They were still confused by the way Noman's father had treated Kareem. The respect in Mr. Rashid's voice bothered them. "Why did my dad call him Kareem bhai?" Noman whispered. "I don't know," Adil muttered, his forehead creased. "But if he respects him, maybe we shouldn't have invited Amir to mock him. This could turn bad." Noman hesitated. "You think his dad's rich or something?" Adil frowned. "Either that, or he's someone really important." They didn't laugh anymore, but their pride kept them from backing down. Meanwhile, Amir walked to the balcony for fresh air. He could hear students inside talking about him. "Did you see how Mr. Rashid greeted Amir's dad?" "Yeah," Who is he? Maybe some businessman. Amir sighed. He hated this. People didn't even care who his father was until they thought he had money or power. They judged too quickly, either calling him poor or suddenly trying to be his friend. Sana joined him on the balcony. Ignore them, she said gently. I'm used to it, Amir replied. People always look at labels first. She looked at him with curiosity. What does your dad do, really? Amir smiled faintly. He works hard. That's enough to know. While Amir stayed outside, Adil and Noman decided to dig for answers. They approached Mr. Rashid, who was greeting other guests near the main hall. Dad, Noman said carefully, how do you know Amir's father? Mr. Rashid gave his son a sharp look. Karim is one of the finest men I've ever met. He helped me years ago when my business almost collapsed. I owe him a lot. Adil blinked. So, he's rich. Mr. Rashid raised his eyebrow. He's successful, yes. But more than that, he's honest and generous. You boys should learn to respect people without asking about their wealth. The words hit both boys hard. They exchanged a glance but stayed quiet. Back on the balcony, Sana and Amir kept talking. You don't open up much, do you? Sana asked. I guess I'm just careful, Amir said softly. People think they know everything about you after just one look. She nodded slowly. You're right. This school can be cruel sometimes. Inside, the music got louder, and students started dancing. A few came to Amir, suddenly friendly, trying to pull him into their group. Hey Amir, come on, join us, one boy said with a wide grin. Yeah, man. You're cool, another added. Amir politely refused. He knew their sudden kindness had nothing to do with his real character. It was only curiosity about his father. Sana noticed and shook her head. See? The moment they think your dad is important, they all want to be your friend. Amir smiled sadly. That's why I don't try to impress anyone. If they don't respect you when they think you have nothing, they don't deserve to know you when they think you have everything. Later in the evening, Mr. Rashid called Amir over. Son, I'm glad you came. Your father is a remarkable man. Thank you, sir, Amir replied politely. Mr. Rashid added, I hope these boys are treating you well. Amir smiled. Yes, sir. Everything's fine. Sana noticed the calm confidence in Amir's voice. He wasn't bragging or acting proud, just quietly respectful. Across the hall, Adil whispered to Noman, we need to stop making fun of him. Your dad really likes his father. Noman nodded reluctantly. But what if people find out we plan to mock him? Then we're finished, Adil muttered. The party continued late into the night. When it was almost over, Amir called Karim to pick him up. Karim arrived quietly, just as he had dropped him off, greeting everyone politely. Once again, Mr. Rashid treated him with great respect, shaking his hand warmly and insisting, we must meet again soon. Some students noticed and whispered even more. Adil and Noman didn't dare laugh anymore. They stood in the corner, worried and silent. As Amir and Karim drove home, Karim asked, did you have fun, son? It was fine, Amir replied. You seem quiet, Karim said gently. Amir thought for a moment. Baba, why do people only respect someone when they think he's rich? Karim smiled calmly. Because they don't understand real respect yet. Respect should be for character, not for money. You'll see, son, people's true hearts always show. Amir looked out of the window, the city lights passing by. He wondered what his classmates would think if they ever knew the truth about his father's success. But deep inside, he didn't care. What mattered to Amir was being true to himself and to the values Karim had taught him: honesty, humility, and hard work. The weekend passed quickly, but the party at Noman's house stayed in everyone's thoughts. By Monday morning, whispers filled Crescent High School's hallways. Students who barely noticed Amir before were now curious. "Do you think his dad's really rich?" one boy asked. "I don't know," another replied. "But Noman's father treated him like a VIP. Maybe he owns a company or something." Amir walked past them, silent as always. He carried the same worn backpack and wore the same simple shoes. He didn't look any different, but people's eyes on him had changed. Some smiled at him suddenly, others just stared. At lunch, Amir sat under the same tree as before. Sana joined him with her tray of food. "They're talking about you," she said softly. "I know," Amir replied calmly. "Doesn't it bother you?" Amir shrugged. "I can't control what people say. I can only control what I do." Sana studied him for a moment. "You're not like other guys here. Most would brag if people thought their family had money." Amir smiled faintly. "My father says money should stay quiet. Only your character should speak loud." That afternoon, Adil and Noman sat in the back row of history class, whispering nervously. "My dad was so serious about respecting Amir's father," Noman said. Adil frowned. "Same with my uncle. He said Karim Khan is known in the business world. I didn't even know. What if Amir finds out we plan to make fun of him?" Noman muttered. Adil sighed. "Then we apologize before he says anything." "But he hasn't said a word," Noman said uneasily. "That's even worse. He's not bragging, not threatening. Just quiet." "Quiet people are dangerous," Adil replied in a low voice. Later that week, Karim came to school to meet Amir's basketball coach about upcoming tournaments. He walked into the gym in his usual simple clothes. But the coach, Mr. Ahmed, immediately recognized him. "Karim Sahib." "What an honor," the coach said warmly, shaking his hand. "You know my father?" Amir asked, surprised. "Of course." Mr. Ahmed replied with a smile. "Everyone knows him. He's helped so many youth programs in the city. Your father's generosity is famous." A few students nearby overheard the conversation. They ran off to tell others. Soon the rumor spread like wildfire: Amir's father is a wealthy businessman who secretly donates to schools and charities. By the end of the day, everyone knew. And everyone wanted to talk to Amir. The next morning, Amir opened his locker to find a crowd of classmates around him. "Hey Amir, great game yesterday. Want to hang out after school? You're coming to my birthday next week, right?" Amir looked confused. These were the same students who ignored him or whispered about his ordinary life. Sana walked over, rolling her eyes. "They're only friendly now because of your father," she whispered. "I know," Amir said quietly, closing his locker. At home that evening, Amir told Karim about the sudden attention. "Baba, everyone's acting different," Amir said. "It's not real. They don't care about me, they just care about who you are." Karim smiled gently. "Then don't let it change you. If they respect you only because of me, it's not real respect. Real friends see your heart, not your family name." Amir nodded. "Like Sana." "Exactly," Karim said with a wink. By Friday, the school buzzed with excitement again. The basketball team had an important game, and Karim promised to attend. When he arrived, teachers and parents greeted him with warm smiles. Even the school principal came to shake his hand. Adil and Noman stood awkwardly near the bleachers, watching Karim speak politely with everyone. "Should we say something?" Noman asked. Adil swallowed hard. "Yeah. Before it's too late." When the game ended, Amir scoring the winning basket, students cheered loudly. Karim clapped proudly but stayed humble, congratulating the whole team. After the crowd thinned, Adil and Noman approached Amir. Hey, Amir, Adil began, forcing a smile. Yes. Amir replied calmly. About the party, Noman added nervously, we just wanted to say, sorry if we made you uncomfortable. Amir looked at them evenly. You didn't make me uncomfortable. But you showed me something. Adil blinked. What? You judge people before you know them, Amir said simply. That's your problem, not mine. The words stung more than anger ever could. Amir walked away to meet his father, leaving the two boys speechless. That night, as Amir and Kareem drove home, Kareem asked, did something happen with those two boys? Amir shook his head. Nothing I can't handle. Kareem glanced at his son and smiled. You're learning quickly. Respect is not about what others think, it's about how you carry yourself. Amir nodded, looking out at the quiet streets. He didn't care if his classmates knew about Kareem's wealth. What mattered was that his father remained the same humble man, and Amir would do the same. But deep inside, Amir wondered, would his classmates truly learn from this, or would they just try harder to impress him now? By Monday morning, Crescent High buzzed like a busy market. Every hallway was filled with whispers. Everyone now knew for certain, Amir's father, Kareem Khan, wasn't an ordinary man. He was one of the most respected businessmen in the city, known for his quiet generosity and investments that helped schools, hospitals, and youth programs. The story had spread after the basketball game. Teachers spoke about Kareem with admiration, and parents told their children to learn from that family. For most students, this news was shocking. The quiet scholarship boy they once ignored was the son of a man worth millions. Amir entered school as he always did, head high, no flashy clothes, same old backpack. But this time, the crowd didn't whisper insults. They smiled too widely, waved too eagerly, and acted as if they'd always been his friends. Amir, come sit with us, one boy called in the cafeteria. Hey, want to come to my place after school, another offered. I heard your dad helped build a sports center. That's amazing, man. Amir nodded politely but didn't join any of them. He found his usual spot under the tree where Sana was waiting. She raised an eyebrow. They're really laying it on thick, she said. I know, Amir replied calmly. Doesn't it feel strange, she asked. Amir sighed. It feels fake. Last week they laughed at me. Now they want to be my best friends. Sana smiled. Well, at least you know who's real and who's not. Inside the classroom, Adil and Noman felt uneasy. Their plan to embarrass Amir had completely backfired. Instead of making him look small, they had revealed how important his father was. They now feared that Amir might tell everyone what they had planned. During the lunch break, Adil approached Amir carefully. Hey man, can we talk? Amir looked at him for a moment, then nodded. They walked to a quiet corner near the library. Listen, Adil began, about the party, we didn't mean anything bad. Amir raised an eyebrow. Really? You didn't invite me just to laugh at me. Adil swallowed hard. Okay, maybe we planned a joke. But we didn't know. Amir cut him off. You didn't need to know anything about my father to respect me. That's the whole point. Noman stepped forward. We're sorry, Amir. We were stupid. Amir looked at them both, his voice calm but firm. You were not stupid. You were arrogant. And now you're only apologizing because you found out who my dad is. The words hit like a hammer. Adil lowered his eyes, and Noman shifted uncomfortably. I don't hate you, Amir continued. But you should learn something. If you respect people only when they're rich, you'll never have real friends. With that, Amir walked away, leaving them speechless. Later that day, during basketball practice, Amir played with his usual focus. The coach noticed how some players now tried harder to impress Amir, passing him the ball too often, cheering louder when he scored. Amir didn't like it. After practice, he stayed back to shoot alone. Sana came to the court, holding a water bottle. "You're quiet again," she said. "I just don't like fake attention," Amir replied, wiping sweat from his forehead. "Well," Sana said with a grin, "at least you've got me. I liked you before you were important." Amir smiled. "Yeah, that's why you're my real friend." At home that evening, Kareem noticed Amir looked tired. "Long day?" Kareem asked as they sat for dinner. "Yeah," Amir replied. "Everyone's acting different now. Even the teachers." Kareem gave a small smile. "That's how the world works sometimes. People respect money more than they respect character." "It's annoying," Amir said. "Why can't they just treat me the same?" "Because they're still learning," Kareem explained. "It's your job to show them that respect is earned by how you behave, not by what you have." Amir nodded slowly. His father's words always made things clearer. The next day at school, something surprising happened. During morning assembly, the principal announced that Kareem Khan had donated funds for a new library and computer lab but had requested no publicity. He didn't want his name on a plaque or in the newspapers. "This is the kind of generosity we should all admire," the principal said. "Helping others without asking for anything in return." Students clapped, and Amir stood quietly in the crowd, feeling both proud and humble. Sana whispered, "Your dad is amazing." "He's just being himself," Amir said with a smile. After school, Adil and Noman approached Sana instead of Amir. "Do you think he'll ever forgive us?" Noman asked nervously. Sana crossed her arms. "You're asking the wrong question. You should ask if you'll ever respect people without looking at their wallets." Adil sighed. "We messed up." "Yes, you did," Sana said sharply. "But it's not too late to change." That evening, Amir and Kareem walked in the park after dinner. The air was cool, and the street lights glowed softly. "Baba," Amir said, "I think some of my classmates are changing. Maybe they're starting to see what you always say about respect." Kareem smiled, putting his hand on Amir's shoulder. "Good. But remember, son, whether they change or not, you must stay the same. Be humble. Be kind. That's real strength." Amir nodded, feeling lighter. He knew this wasn't just about school anymore, it was about life. The next morning at school, the atmosphere was tense. Everyone had heard about what happened at Hamid's house. Whispers followed him in the corridors. Some students looked guilty, others curious, and a few still tried to laugh, but their voices were not as loud as before. Hamid walked calmly to his class. His father's words from the night before echoed in his mind, "People only know what you show them. Don't let them decide your worth." During the first break, Bilal, Zain, and Usman sat together, looking worried. Their plan to mock Hamid had gone in the wrong direction. Instead of shaming him, they had exposed their own arrogance. "I didn't know his father was rich," Zain muttered, looking at his shoes. "That doesn't change anything," Bilal replied quickly, though his voice lacked confidence. "He still acted like he's better than us." Usman sighed. "No, Bilal. We acted like we were better than him. That's the truth." Meanwhile, a few classmates approached Hamid. They didn't know how to start the conversation, so they simply said, "Your house is nice," or "Your father is impressive." Hamid just smiled politely and went back to his notebook. He wasn't interested in showing off. After school, Hamid met his father outside the gate. Some students stared at the shiny black car and whispered again. Mr. Kareem noticed but ignored it. As they drove home, Hamid asked softly, "Why are people so quick to judge, Baba?" Mr. Kareem smiled, his eyes calm. "Because judging is easy. Understanding is hard." But you will choose understanding. Right? Hamid nodded slowly. Yes, Baba. That evening, Bilal could not sleep. He kept thinking about Hamid's quiet face at school. His own father had shouted at him for being careless in class, and Bilal wondered what it would be like to have a father who spoke kindly like Mr. Karim. The next day, the teacher announced a group project. You will work in teams of 4, she said. Choose wisely. Everyone rushed to form groups. Bilal looked at Zain and Usman, but they hesitated. Hamid was standing alone, writing something in his notebook. Bilal took a deep breath and walked up to him. Hamid, he said quietly, want to join our group? Hamid looked surprised. Really? Yes, Bilal said, trying to sound casual. We need someone smart. Hamid agreed, but the atmosphere was still awkward. When school ended, Bilal told Zain and Usman, we need to talk to him properly. No jokes. No insults. Both nodded, realizing things had gone too far. Later that week, the group met at a library to plan the project. Hamid explained the topic in clear, simple points. His knowledge impressed them, but what struck them even more was his patience. He didn't treat them like enemies. During a short break, Bilal finally spoke. Hamid, about that party. We were wrong. I'm sorry. Hamid looked at him, his expression calm but serious. You invited me to laugh at me. Bilal swallowed. Yes. And it was stupid. I didn't know anything about you, or your dad. Hamid shook his head. It's not about money. You shouldn't mock anyone, rich or poor. Usman added, we were jealous. You work hard, and you never complain. We thought if we made fun of you, we'd feel better about ourselves. Hamid gave a small smile. Thank you for telling the truth. For the first time, they worked together like real teammates. By the end of the meeting, something had shifted. They didn't become best friends instantly, but there was respect in the air now. That evening, Bilal told his mother about the project meeting. Hamid is different, he said. He doesn't act proud even though he could. His dad is really nice too. His mother replied softly, then maybe you should learn from them. Riches can be lost, but character stays. At dinner, Hamid told his father about the apology. Mr. Karim listened carefully and then said, forgiving is not weakness, Hamid. It shows strength. But remember, trust must be earned, not given freely. The next week, their teacher praised the group's project. Excellent teamwork, she said with a smile. Hamid noticed that Bilal and Zain were different now. They didn't laugh at others so quickly. Even Usman stopped making rude jokes. But one thing still bothered Bilal. He had hurt Hamid deeply, and an apology didn't seem enough. He wanted to do something more. So, after class, he walked to Hamid again. Hey, Bilal said awkwardly, we're sorry for real. Can we come to your house again? Not to mock, but to say thanks. Hamid hesitated, then nodded slowly. All right. But only if you come with respect this time. Zain raised his hand. Promise. Mr. Karim agreed to let them visit on Friday. This time, there would be no tricks, no games. But Hamid couldn't help wondering what would happen. Would they truly change, or were they pretending? Friday afternoon arrived with bright sunlight, and Hamid's home felt calm and welcoming. The smell of fresh bread and tea filled the kitchen. Hamid helped his father set the table while thinking about the visit from his classmates. They're coming to apologize properly, he said quietly. Mr. Karim smiled. And to learn, I hope. But remember, son, respect must be shown by actions, not just words. Hamid nodded, feeling a mixture of excitement and nervousness. He hoped that Bilal, Zain, and Usman had truly understood their mistakes. When the doorbell rang, Hamid opened it to find the three boys standing there, looking nervous and unsure. Bilal spoke first. "Hi, Hamid. We are really sorry for how we treated you." Zain added, "We were wrong to judge you, and we were wrong to plan that joke at the party." Usman finally said, "We want to be better, and we hope you can forgive us." Hamid studied their faces carefully. He saw honesty there, not fake smiles or forced politeness. "Come in," he said, holding the door wider. Inside, Mr. Karim greeted them warmly. "Welcome, boys. I'm glad you came. Learning to respect others is more important than winning a game or being popular." The boys nodded quietly. They looked around the home, noticing the simple furniture, books on every shelf, and photographs of Hamid's mother smiling with him as a child. They realized that wealth was not about flashy cars or expensive clothes, it was about values, kindness, and humility. Hamid led them to the living room. "Let's sit," he said. "We can talk, but I want to make one thing clear: apology alone isn't enough. Respect has to be shown every day, not just for a day." Bilal spoke earnestly. "We understand. We want to change. Can you help us?" Hamid smiled softly. "I can. But it's up to you if you really try." They spent the next hour sharing stories, talking about school, sports, and even dreams for the future. The conversation was honest and simple. Hamid explained how his father had taught him to stay humble, work hard, and treat others kindly. He didn't boast about his father's wealth or success, he only spoke about values. Bilal and Zain listened carefully. For the first time, they felt respect for Hamid, not because of what his father owned, but because of Hamid himself. Usman nodded several times, realizing how much he had learned. Before leaving, Bilal spoke again. "Hamid, we will try to be better friends and better people. We won't pretend to like you because of your father or judge anyone else like we did." Hamid smiled. "That's all I ask." After the boys left, Hamid and his father sat together in the living room. "Baba," Hamid said, "I think they really understood. They didn't just say sorry, they mean it." Mr. Karim nodded. "Yes, son. It's a good lesson for them. But more importantly, it's a lesson for you as well. People will always judge. Some will understand, some will not. Your job is to remain steady, honest, and kind. That is true strength." Hamid thought about the past few weeks. From the party, the whispers, the fake friends, and finally the apology, he had learned that character mattered more than appearances or money. The next week at school, everything had changed. Bilal, Zain, and Usman were more careful with their words. They no longer made jokes at others' expense. They treated everyone with respect, not because they wanted favors, but because they finally understood. Sana noticed the change first. "Looks like they finally learned something," she whispered to Hamid during lunch. Hamid smiled. "It's not about them. It's about what we do every day." Even Adil and Noman, who had tried to mock him in the past, had begun to reflect on their behavior. They avoided boasting about wealth and began to listen more to their teachers and peers. A few weeks later, the school announced that Hamid's basketball team had qualified for the city championship. During the final game, students cheered, not just for Hamid's skills, but for his character. After the match, as everyone celebrated, Sana came to him. "You didn't have to fight anyone or prove anything. People just saw who you really are." Hamid smiled. "I didn't need to. My father always said, respect is earned by actions, not money or words." Even Bilal and Zain joined him in celebration. They weren't trying to impress him, they were genuinely proud to be part of the same team. That evening, Hamid and his father walked home under the glowing streetlights. The city was calm, and the air felt fresh. Baba, Hamid said softly, I think some of them are truly different now. They've learned something important. Karim smiled warmly, putting his hand on Hamid's shoulder. Good, son. But remember, it doesn't matter if everyone changes. What matters is that you remain true to yourself. Humility, kindness, and honesty, these are your real treasures. Hamid nodded, feeling a deep sense of peace. He realized that true worth wasn't in money or status. It was in respect, character, and the way people treated each other. As they reached their home, Hamid looked at the stars shining above. The city lights flickered, but one thing was clear in his heart: he would always walk his path with honesty, courage, and humility, and in doing so, he would inspire others without ever needing to prove himself. And for the first time, he felt completely free from the whispers, the judgments, and the expectations of others.